Morning everybody. Welcome to my vlog. My name is James Cook. Today I'm going to talk about how wonderful it would be if we could drive everywhere for free. Also, I've got V and we're going off on a little cycle as well, which it will tie in with what I want to talk to you about, hopefully. When I'm saying sort of, drive everywhere for free, what I mean is so you don't have to pay for fuel or, okay, so this is an electric car, so you don't have to pay for electricity. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? And in this world of solar panels everywhere, you'd think it would be achievable. So my first EV was a Nissan Leaf, and one of the options with the Nissan Leaf was to have a small solar panel that would go on the sort of the rear spoiler, and people were always asking me, can it charge the car, or can it run the air conditioning? Even in fact Jeremy Clarkson, who really should have known better even then, he was doing a test drive of a Nissan Leaf back when electric vehicles were amazingly new, and he was like, look at this solar panel, it can't charge the car but it can run the climate control. No, it can't. All it does is trickle charge the lead acid battery that starts the thing. It's basically a complete gimmick. And I remember Elon Musk once said, he was asked, I think, at one of these Tesla events, are you going to release a Tesla with solar panels all over it? All over the roof and the bonnet and everything, so it can charge the car as you're driving along. And what Elon said was, it's basically not worth it. You put lots and lots of money into it, it's really complicated, and the end result is you gain a few miles a day, like something like 5 or 6 miles in the whole day if it charges in really great sunlight. But all of this was quite a while ago. Right, I'm just going to get the bikes out now rather than spend the entire time talking. Yeah, over the years batteries have got more energy dense, so less weight for the same storage capacity, and solar panels have got more powerful, generating more power for the same amount of surface area. The power electronics have become more efficient, the cars have become more efficient, and all of this has had the effect of making solar power whilst you drive along be a little bit more realistic, or if not that, solar power that you park up and it charges the car over a morning or a day or a few days or whatever. It's starting to become more realistic. V took a little tumble last time she was on the bike, so today the mission is to not have that happen again.
I admit I'm quite nervous now, actually.
Good. Well, it is good. Of course it is. Bit of being nervous is very helpful. Good, well done. Just let it flow over the bumps. So, yeah, V had a little accident, unfortunately, in Milton Keynes. We went down a sort of slope, and then there was a sort of nasty bump right at the bottom of the slope that neither of us realised was there, and yes, everything got a bit squirrely and legs a bit scratched up. But as far as I can tell, it still seems functional. That's the main thing. Mandatory coffee stop. Essential, no matter how much or little cycling you're doing. So we've done 2 miles. we'll have a coffee, we'll do another lap of the lake, I think, because at the moment I'm just trying to sort of build up V's familiarity with the bike, because, you know, I think she's done something like 20 miles worth of cycling in her whole life, and, you know, about 15 miles of that were on this My Rider here that she's only recently got. So batteries are more efficient, more power dense. The electric vehicles in particular are much more efficient, in particular because of things like a lot of them have heat pumps now, which are 3 to 5 times more efficient than resistive heaters. That makes a big difference, especially on the smaller batteried EVs, and smaller batteried EVs are lighter and therefore take less power to drive down the road. Solar panels, they're sort of, 25% efficient is not particularly difficult to achieve. If you really spend the megabucks, you can get 50% efficient even. So yeah, there's a lot of progress that's been made. And what that means is that solar-powered cars, solar-powered EVs are really much more doable now than they have ever been before. I mean, okay, so still, if you want to drive down the road using nothing but the power of the sun hitting your car, then the chances are you're going to be in an engineering project produced by some sort of a university, because you are going to need the most ridiculously low coefficient of drag. You're going to have to not accelerate barely at all. That is probably unrealistic for most people, and probably always will be. But having the car charge itself whilst it's left in a car park on a sunny day, that is looking more and more possible. I mean, I would love a fully solar powered car. That would be so awesome. But I mean, firstly, I couldn't afford one, and secondly, I don't think you can actually just go out and buy one at the moment. But I think perhaps that might change in the future, although it would come with compromises. And you might have noticed, but I like to take loads of bikes and children and car seats and luggage with me wherever I go, and none of that is conducive to solar-powered cars. Basically, the smaller the vehicle gets, the more realistic it becomes. So, take my bike, for example. My bike is actually basically, well, it is solar-powered. I've been charging it using just my solar generator backpack get-up. This is for illustrative purposes only. I don't actually charge the bike sat out here. I also always charge using a watt meter, because that way you can actually see when it's starting to sort of fill up, because the watts that it draws drops. And it's been working very well so far. If you don't mind stopping to charge, of course, there are other things you can do to help speed up the process. Like these days, foldable solar panels are much more of a thing. So you could stop, park up the car, and then unfurl some sort of extended solar canopy type situation. That would help get some power into the car in a little bit more of a reasonable time frame. Fuel is getting increasingly expensive, so yeah, there definitely would be advantages to having a vehicle that, even electricity is getting increasingly expensive. So yeah, just having it magically refill while you park would be nice. So today it is sort of possible. You've got the engineering oddities, of course, like I said, the true solar-powered cars that you get from, university engineering teams. And you've got things like the Lightyear Zero. It's not currently commercially available, but it does have a fair amount of solar power on it. I think something like 700 watts. And that does actually provide enough energy to extend the range of the battery whilst driving, which is pretty cool. Something that might well work a lot better actually is if you had an RV or a caravan with solar panels on it, and those then fed into the car's battery either while you were parked up, or I mean that would work perfectly with an RV. You park up, you've got solar panels all over the roof, and then you've got an awning that comes out the side with more solar panels on it. If you did that, I reckon you get something like 4 or 5 kilowatts of solar panels over the sort of upward surface of the car, probably enough to charge at about 5 to 10 miles an hour, depending on how much power the RV used to go down the road. That would be really handy. You could pull up somewhere for a few days, and then when you came to leave, you'd have full charge and you wouldn't have had to plug into anything. Talking about unfolding solar panels, there's actually a Tesla Model 3 that's planning on driving all the way around Australia just using some folding solar panels they've got stashed in their boot, and that's all they're going to use to charge the thing. So that sounds like it's going to be quite an adventure, and I hope it works out well for them. Just tightened up these spokes. That's the third wheel now from my rider where I've had to tighten the spokes, because I could just hear a sort of as she was going along, and I identified that as being the sound of loose spokes, because that's the sound I had on my wheel. Took it back to the place I bought the bike from. They swapped it out for a new wheel because that was quicker than actually tightening the spokes, apparently. And then the new wheel started making the noise, and I was like, right, forget this. I don't care about wheels staying true and in line, and it's a tiny wheel, it'll be fine. So I just tightened all the spokes, haven't had a problem since. Just done the same on V's bike. Hopefully that will fix the problem. Right, shall we? Brilliant. It in one piece. Fantastic. Do I think that solar on cars is going to become a thing? You know what? I think it would be nice. I don't think it'll ever replace grid charging, but it seems like it'd be a nice added extra if it didn't cost a fortune to have it. And I think as it gets cheaper and cheaper, the technology, I think it will become easier and easier to do for everyone. So yeah, I'd like to have a camper, an electric camper with loads of solar on the roof. I think that'd be brilliant. Unfortunately, not yet. Basically, you can barely buy an electric camper at the moment. Is one of the main problems. These pannier bags work all right, don't they? Mm-hmm. One of the things I'd love to try one day actually is just putting my solar generator on my back and just literally seeing how far I could go, just stopping for like lunch and putting the solar panel out and charging the bike up and then doing some more cycling. The problem I'm going to have with that, I think, is that it's firstly it would be quite time consuming. It'd take hours to empty the battery on one of these bikes, and then it would take hours more to charge it up. And the other problem is sunlight in this country is quite, you can't really depend on it, is the problem. Yeah, I don't know, we'll see. Might be a nice adventure to have one day. My legs are really aching, not from cycling the electric bike this afternoon, but because I've done, I don't know, 7 weeks now of running 5 kilometers every day, and my legs are starting to feel it, definitely. It was a bit of a squeeze to get the bikes in the back, especially now that I've put pannier racks on them. Moment of truth. I hope you've all enjoyed today's video and found it fun and interesting. If you have, remember to leave a like and share it and subscribe if you haven't already. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you like. The links are in the description. Big thank you to my Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. And I'll see you all in the next episode of my vlog. Bye.